yes, you must help the bees.
Telling the bees, I was brought up in the tradition you had to tell the bees at a time of births or deaths, and tap by tapping on the beehives, and I've done this all my life.
Yeah, this is what I said to them, telling the bees, dear bees, Hark has just arrived, a new member to the household, please keep him safe.
As tradition says it, you've got to let the bees know, and you've got to let the queen bee know. And you can't go in and just get her out and say, my lad's had a baby. You've got to just sit outside and just very politely tell them. Just to let you know that Alfred were born this morning, nearly 10 to 5, and he's overseas in Sweden, so tell all your little friends over there to wish him luck, and keep watching over them, and make sure they stay safe.
Yeah, I tell them a lot. I always greet them with hello girls. They're my friends. Yeah, I talk to them about how I want to help them. It's really passionate to me.
And I also talked to them recently when my daughter was very seriously ill, and I hadn't been able to visit the hives as often, and I felt I needed to tell the bees why. And it's partly an outlet because it was quite good just to talk about it to creatures who, of course, were listening to every word I said. But I think there is a practical aspect to it, which is that when I am talking with the bees, I am less likely to be anxious. And the bees can tell if you are anxious, and it makes them jittery. So, for example, if you're anxious, you might perspire a bit more. The bees do not like the smell of perspiration, so they're more likely to attack you.
There's a wonderful jingle which I've always remembered. A maiden in her glory upon her wedding day must tell the bees her story, or else they fly away. Or if somebody dies, trembling I listened, the summer sun had the chill of snow, for I knew she was telling the bees of one, gone on a journey we all must go.
Gone on a journey, we all must go. Gone on a journey, we all must go. Gone on a journey, we all must go. Pine away, dwine away, dwindle down and leave you. For if you never grieve your bees will never grieve you. Hark, hark, hark to your bees. Hark, hark to your bees. Hark, hark, hark to your bees. Hark, hark to your bees.
And what about the impact of climate change?
There again, hard winters seem to get the necessary moisture into the ground, and particularly for the heather moors. It was always said and proved that a wet May was essential to get good crops of heather honey. Sadly, in some of the more recent years, the drought conditions seem to have taken over on the moorland tops, and the laying heather is either dying off or not yielding as it did in the past.
Hark, hark, hark to your bees. Hark, hark to your bees. Hark, hark, hark to your bees. Hark, hark to your bees.
Without bees, there would be very little food in the world. It's something like 80% of our food is dependent on bees. And it's not just the honey, but the flowers produce what insects need and birds need, and so the whole chain goes on. You can't have an apple unless a bee has pollinated an apple tree.
Hark, hark to your bees. Hark, hark to your bees.
We're more in touch with nature, much more in touch with nature. And the countryside was different as well. I mean, now a hayfield is the grass end to end. Years ago, we weren't hayfields, we were hay meadows, full of flowers, lots of pollination, lots of nectar and pollen for bees and other things. So the countryside sadly is nowhere near as good as it used to be for bees, or anything else really, to tell the truth. Sad to say.
Pine away, dwine away, dwindle down and leave you. For if you never grieve your bees will never grieve you. I don't keep the bees keep me. I don't keep the bees keep me.
The hive cannot work unless every bee cooperates, and every bee has its job, and every bee communicates with every other bee.
It is a perfect society. All the bees know exactly what to do. I mean, when a bee first hatches out, it's fed by nurse bees, so you've got nurse bees in the hive. And it gets older, it might get a job as a guard bee on the front to keep wasps and things out. So you've got policemen, nurses, and of course eventually forage and bring in nectar and pollen. It's quite an amazing little creature, really. It really is.
I think it's that level of selflessness, isn't it? The way that they work solid together and in harmony is just it's mind-boggling when you watch it.
Collective working is the only way that we're ever going to change anything. We all have to come together. We currently live in an atomised world where individuals, is making a lot of people very unhappy, people very poor, people are exploitable. If we come together, then the absolute power of the collective is unquestionable, and it's mirrored everywhere in nature. And so why wouldn't we adopt something that is tried and tested and evidently works?
I don't keep the bees keep me. I don't keep the bees keep me.